It's Thursday. Welcome to Cleaning with Chaos. Now, as you may remember from last week, I'm working on this adventure comic and I'm trying to see what I can do with it. It's the first time I've ever tried adding pulp to it to fill the holes, whatever, and it's not the best in the world, but I think it's adequate for my first try. I don't want to go overboard with it. I have some other ideas I'm going to try. Like this one is kind of loose. It's coming up. It probably is going to have to be redone. No, not probably. It is going to have to be redone. So I'll redo that one. I have a new way to do that that's a little bit better. But that's not what we're into today. We're going to continue with this. This is the center page. I need to take the tape off, and then I have another one I need to take the tape off of. So let's get my parchment paper out and start warming up that tape. This could take a while. I mean, this is a long project that could take me a long time to finish. So I'm just going to do a small portion of the tape. Then I will turn the camera off and come back and do more of it. I've shown how to remove tape before. It's the same process that I used to remove stickers. Tape is a little tiny bit different in that I do other things to it as well. So let me, it should be warm enough. Let me see if I can't start removing some of this tape. This tape was on there pretty firmly. I may need to use something else. I might have to use a piece of metal that I have. Let's see if I can find it. My eraser shield would probably work really well. It's super thin. And no, my ImacuClean leaked. The soap from my ImacuClean leaked. So everything that's in that drawer has soap all over it. We are not going to use that today. I have to wash everything in the drawer. So I'll get my X-Acto knife and try that. If you use an X-Acto knife, you have to be extra careful, extra cautious. All I'm going to use it for is to try to get it started, then I'll go back to using the plastic putty knife. Coming off pretty easily. That's a good thing. Taking a tiny bit of paper with it, but not a whole lot. Since there's no ink there, I'm not too concerned with that. Okay, now it's taking more paper, which means I'm to that part that isn't heated up yet. And it doesn't take very long to warm it up. Again, start it with my knife, even though I left an area off. Now it's taking up too much paper, so I'm going to make a tiny little slice here. See if I can go from the other direction. Yep, it's going to take paper off no matter what I do. And this time it's trying to take a lot off, so. Don't want to add to the repairs that I'm going to have to do, but I might have to. Yeah, that took a nice chunk off, but there wasn't much I could do about it. Once the tape grabs and doesn't want to let go, there's not much you can do. Okay, that's nice and hot. That should be able to work really well. Apparently, there's areas that are torn, and that's where the tape is grabbing and removing the paper from. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. That might be better for me to soak it and then try to take it off. Yeah, it's gonna, it wants to just tear off big chunks of that paper. Try going from the other side. Yeah. That's what it is. The tape is actually holding the paper together. I'm going to have to try soaking it and see if I can get the tape off that way. That's there. I'm going to try to remove this big piece right here though. And if the same thing starts happening, I just won't mess with it. I might be forced to leave the tape on there. Not something I want to do. starting to cool off again. Yeah. I never said this was an easy process. It's just one that's possible. It's like a little bit of the ink is going to come off of this and I'm not going to be able to stop it. Let me cut this tape off. At least I thought I was going to. It doesn't want to cut. I'm going to go ahead and concentrate on this, and I'm going to turn the camera off while I do it. Okay, in the end I couldn't do that the way I wanted to, so I had to use my old standby. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. My old standby, of course, is lighter fluid. When you're taking it off of interior pages, it's a little bit different from taking off a sticker where you can just wash it. Anytime you have tape, you actually go from the back side. So what I'll do, I've got a little bit of lighter fluid in my tray here. I will soak down the area that I know it's in. Turn it over, make sure I got the whole thing. I did. And then I need to start on the end here where I know the tape is. I hear you, Delco. I don't like using this stuff any more than you like it. Once I get a little bit of it set, or a little bit up, I go ahead and start applying it directly to the tape, just under it, just over that edge. Get it started, hopefully, without taking off any paper. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have any paper loss on that yet. Unfortunately, this means the paper is now wet. And of course, as we all know, wet paper is weak paper. So extra care has to be taken when using this method to ensure that you don't tear the paper. I have never tried this on a newer comic, only on older ones, and I don't really like doing it with older ones, but sometimes you got to do what you know will work. Okay, I've got a small tag of that up now. So now I'll take my fluid and put it right under the tag, right at the edge, and just start gently pulling and applying additional fluid to dissolve the glue and not make it pick up the paper. As you can see, this works fairly well. I don't like doing it this way. It doesn't leave a stain on the paper as far as I know. At least I don't remember it leaving a stain on the paper. But with this paper, it's old paper and it's a tiny bit dried anyway. So a tiny bit of the ink is coming up, but not that much that it's gonna, I don't think it'll really affect it that bad. I'd rather have a tiny bit of the ink come up than paper. As you can see, I've already gotten about half that tape off now. Once again, I would like to say, if you are not sure that you can do this, if you are afraid that you might ruin the book, don't try it. If you are that worried about the comic getting ruined, you should not even think about attempting this. But the way I look at it, with all that tape on it, the comic was already ruined, so what I'm doing to it can't hurt it any worse. And I'm not afraid of consequences. The entire piece of tape came off. Very little ink loss, no paper loss. I just don't like using lighter fluid. But sometimes you have to use what you know will work. I will be washing these pages after the lighter fluid is completely dry. That's going to be it for this episode. Join me again next Thursday, where we will continue to work on this. I'm going to let it thoroughly dry. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't seal that rip without using tape and see how that turns out. I've got a new idea for trying that. As you can see, this one, the lighter fluid on this is almost completely dry, so it doesn't, I don't think it's going to stain it. And I will see you next video. Or actually, I'll see you tonight on my live chat, on my live stream. Make sure before you handle your comics, you wash your hands. It's good for your comics, it's good for your health. If you use any kind of chemicals, get a something like some of the orange cleaner. Get one of the hand cleaners out of the automotive department and use that to wash your hands, or some lava soap or something to wash your hands with, and then wash them with regular soap afterwards, just to make sure you don't have those chemicals on your skin. I should have been using gloves while doing this. I didn't. That's me. I'm you know, I will in the future, when I use chemicals, I will use gloves. So don't, yes, harp on me about that in the comments if you want, because I should have had gloves on when I started doing this. But I didn't realize I was going to have to use it. It's still a little bit tacky. I'm not worried about that, the tackiness. I'm just going to put some Like I said, I'm going to soak it, and I'm going to add a little bit of I'm going to add some chemicals to the bath to make sure that the paper is a little bit stronger. I'm not going to work on any other pages unless they have tape on them. Let's take a look now and see if any other pages have tape on them, because I will need to remove the tape on those as well. So here we go. This is not the centerfold. This is the third page from the centerfold, or the third leaf. It's the fourth leaf, nothing. And yes, there's tears in it, but I'm not going to fix those. That's where the staples will go in. But as long as I have a good cover and a good centerfold, the staples will hold. I'm not too concerned with those. Might think about putting a tiny piece of tape over it just to keep them from tearing. Probably won't. This had tape on it. The tape has been entirely removed, not by me, by someone else. I will straighten this out a little bit. Yeah, when I flatten it, I'll straighten it out. But there you go. All of these pages are good, no tape on them. Don't have to worry about that. I'm sure you don't want to sit here and watch paper dry, so see you tonight. Bye. It's Thursday. Welcome to Cleaning with Clay. Let's try that again.